The Cybermen have one hell of a timeline, with multiple different upgrades through the multiverse and even the VR-verse. But where did it all really start, and where is it all going? Well, we're going to look at the complete history of the Cybermen so far, so buckle up, hold on to your skin, and let's dive in. Our story begins on Mondas, the twin planet of Earth. Mondas was identical to our own planet in almost every way, the same size, shape, and even species. The only difference is the orbit of the planet, which is upside down compared to Earth's. This is most likely because the planet was sent flying out into deep space after the creation of the moon. The Silurians and Sea Devils took control of Mondas back in the prehistoric era. They used technology to upgrade and augment apes on Mondas, turning them into cyber ape slaves. Further down the timeline, a cosmic cloud appeared above Mondas, with Cybermen from the far future coming through. These future Cybermen were stopped and destroyed by the Silurians and Sea Devils of the time, who later carried out experiments on the future technology, even going as far as to send the augmented apes into the cosmic cloud to investigate these future Cybermen. As the prehistoric rulers began to lose their hold on the planet, the apes began to take over Mondas, converting Mondasians into new Cybermen. Just as apes evolved into humans back on Earth, the augmented slaves evolved into Cybermen on Mondas. During their evolution, they took control over prehistoric creatures like the dinosaurs, constructed megacities, and even ventured into space with newly constructed ships. Eventually, the apes who went through the cosmic cloud returned to Mondas. They came back into the distant future and were captured by the now further evolved and better upgraded Cybermen. The surviving Sea Devils began new conflict with the Cybermen in an attempt to regain control. However, this war only lasted 42 days and ended in utter destruction with no winner. All three species, being the Cybermen, Sea Devils, and Silurians, all went extinct. Around 2,000 years into the future, Mondas returned to a state similar to 20th century Earth. However, not all was happy on Mondas, with the surviving surface still being mostly inhabitable and most Mondasians living inside for the rest of their lives. As the need for exploration and growth continues, the Mondasians created the Central Committee of Mondas, a parliament of individuals who would control Mondas, its society, and lead it into its future. The committee then designed and created a new system to send Mondas back to its original spatial position before it was sent flying away into deep space. However, the people who were to pilot the planet back to the solar system would not be able to survive the cold, isolated conditions of deep space, with no light, no warmth, and no ounce of life. The committee then decided to augment the chosen individual pilots. However, the augmentations were not as good as hoped, leaving the people to become medically insane. The committee then voted to remove all of their emotions to ensure that their plans could still succeed. They stayed alive by evolving with spare parts of metal, plastic, and other machinery. They stripped their flesh, their eyes, their bones, and only left the brain, which they numbed with the emotional inhibitor, to ensure they would not be driven insane after realizing what they have become. These were the first proper Cybermen on Mondas. However, these Cybermen wouldn't live for long, as their bodies rejected the technology they were being patched with. While this was happening, the Fifth Doctor landed on the planet with companion Nyssa. The Doctor was captured and underwent analysis by the Mondasians. While undergoing said analysis, the Cybermen learned of an extra component which was only found in Time Lords. They used this to fix the issues in their earlier designs, making the first fully functioning Cybermen to be efficient and ready for outer space. Sometime around this time, a Mondasian colony ship set off into space to inhabit and take over new worlds. On its voyage, however, the ship became locked in an orbit around a black hole. After the ship's pilots activated the reverse engines, the ship became locked in a time dilation, meaning time moved differently wherever you were on the ship. For instance, the back end of the ship moved much faster than the front. After the Doctor, Missy, and Bill Potts alongside Nardole arrived on the ship for a bit of, fun, Bill was murdered and shot in the chest due to her being human. She was then taken to the bottom of the ship to be upgraded and saved by becoming a Cyberman, but during the conversion, she was saved by a man who worked in the hospital. Once the Doctor and gang arrived on the bottom floor, Bill had already been fully upgraded after being tricked into the conversion chamber by the mysterious man who later turned out to be an earlier incarnation of the Master and a predecessor to Missy. After battles commenced, the Doctor was left at his final stand. As he attempted to stop the Cybermen, he ignited the floor, destroying the army of Cybermen and dramatically slowing them down from reaching the humans as they were so eager to upgrade and destroy. On Mondas, all Earthbound Mondasians have now been upgraded to Cybermen. They then turn their attention to their sister planet, Earth, with the goal of upgrading and converting all of the humans the same way that the Mondasians did. They sent spacecrafts to search for Earth and begin reconnaissance. One craft crash-landed in 1873, Austria. The damage to their craft meant that they couldn't transmit the coordinates back to Cyber Control on Mondas. The 8th Doctor later stopped the reconnaissance units and wiped all traces of the Cybermen from ever getting to Earth. Later down the line, the Cybermen had wished to return to outer space and continue their voyage into the stars. The Mondasians intended to drain all of Earth's energy and take it from Mondas into the next era. Unfortunately though, the planet took too much energy, causing the planet's destruction. This was the Cybermen's first defeat to the first incarnation of the Doctor. The Doctor then next met them on the Moon in the year 2070. The Cybermen tried to destroy Earth with a machine capable of controlling Earth's weather patterns. Yet again, their own plan backfired, and the machine was used against them, sending the Cybermen back into the void, that is, deep space. Now in the 25th century, a human expedition uncovered a group of dormant Cybermen on Telos, a planet the Cybermen took over after the destruction of Mondas. Cybermen began to activate, but was stopped by the second Doctor and his TIRES team, after they destroyed the Cyber Controller and locked the remaining Cybermen in their tombs. The second Doctor then met the Cybermen again in the Wheel in Space, where the Cybermen became stuck in an Earth space station in the 21st century. The Cybermen's goal this time was to use the space station as a base of operations to take control of the planet below them. The Doctor defeated the Cybermen and now the Cyberplanner once more. The Doctor continued travelling through space and next met them in the late 20th century, where the Cybermen were hiding out on Earth. The Doctor and unit worked together and managed to successfully put an end to the cyber threat. It wasn't then until the Doctor's fourth incarnation, where the Doctor and the Cybermen would meet again. These Cybermen were what was left against the cyber war with the humans, which we'll get to later on. The fourth Doctor then defeated the Cybermen. When the Cybermen next met the Doctor, he had again regenerated and was now in his fifth incarnation. These Cybermen wanted to again destroy Earth, but this time with a highly explosive weapon. When the Doctor stopped the Cybermen, they decided to just send the ship into the planet's surface instead, hoping the impact would cause an outright extinction event. After Adric changed the ship's course slightly, it meant the ship now crashed on Earth and became the cause of the extinction of the dinosaurs. The Cybermen once again veered their metal heads in the Death Zone, while the first 5 incarnations of the Doctor challenged Rassilon. The Master briefly teamed up with these Cybermen to help get to the tower, and later betrayed them once he got what he wanted. The Cybermen next meeting with the Doctor was with the 6th Doctor, and they tried to bring back Mondas, but their plan again unfortunately backfired, leading them to again fail to recover Mondas, but now also losing their second home of Telos. For a final time, these Cybermen tried to take over the Earth with a new plan where they met the 7th Doctor and Ace. Yet again, they aimed to convert every human on the planet, the hope of finding a Time Lord relic known as the Nemesis statue. The Doctor luckily stopped them and used the power of the statue against them to destroy all of the Cybermen instead. Lots of these events took place within the Cyber Wars, a conflict between the Cybermen and the Earth-Human Empire, taking place all throughout time, just like with the Time War, lasting from the 22nd century into the 24th century and beyond. As with the Time War, the Cyber War is very confusing, as it jumps back and forward throughout history. So when I create my history of the Daleks video and my history of the Time War video, I'll do those separately. And I'll also be therefore creating a separate video for the history of the Cyber Wars. If I have already created that video, then I should have something appear on screen around this point for you to click on, and I recommend watching that, then coming back here. But if not, then let's continue. While the Cyber Wars took off, new Cybermen were created on a parallel Earth by a man named John Lumic, who was converting the homeless into Cybermen. Lumic then revealed his plans and used his AirPods, or, well, earpods, to control the people of London and have them willingly walk into cyber converting factories. After Lumic was converted himself and his plan well on the way, the Doctor, Rose, Mickey and the Preachers set the Cybermen free by deactivating the emotional inhibitors. This lets the Cybermen see themselves what they have become, leading them to become insane and blow up, destroying the entire factory with Lumic still inside. However, this was only one factory and there was still work to be done, so Mickey stayed behind in his parallel world with the surviving Preacher Jake, and they headed off into the world to take down the cyber factories across Earth, with their first destination being Paris. However, 5 million Cybermen survived, leading them to infiltrate and take over the parallel Torchwood London. Using a crack between the two universes created by the sphere, the Cybermen followed the void ship through and travelled into the Doctor's universe, covering themselves up as ghosts. The Cybermen later revealed their true selves and came through fully in their own usual form, invading the world and establishing a base with a tower of Torchwood London, which they had so carefully infiltrated via the use of advanced guards. All of the humans were set to be converted into Cybermen, but this plan was slightly altered once the Daleks revealed themselves as the makers of the Void Ship. The Cybermen proposed an offer of an alliance if their technologies were compatible, but this was turned down with the Daleks' need for Dalek purity staying in check. This caused the Daleks then to go into a war with the Cybermen, but before things could go any further, the Doctor opened the bridge between worlds, pulling the Cybermen and the Daleks back into the void. However, not all of the Cybermen were sucked into the void. As the Cybermen started upgrading humans using humans' technology, which wasn't soaked in void stuff, this meant Yanto Jones' girlfriend survived the conflict as a partially upgraded Cyberman made with emergence of Cybus and human technology. Yanto kept her hidden in a cyber conversion chamber below Torchwood Cardiff, in a hope that one day he could reverse the process or at least bring back some more of Lisa's humanity. This failed, of course, and her cyber side took over, causing her to be shot dead by the Torchwood team and ending the Battle of Canary Wharf. As the wars between worlds weakened, the Cybermen managed to escape the void and their war with the Daleks, stealing Dalek technology as they did so. The Cybermen landed on 19th century Earth under the leadership of the Cyber Lord. The Cybermen constructed a giant Cyberman known as the Cyber King. As the Cyber King had a human in control and leading it, the Doctor was able to show her what she had become, causing her to go insane just as previous Cybermen had. The Doctor then sent the Cyber King body into the time vortex to be carefully destroyed. However, all of these events were later erased from time after the crack in the universe, with only the Doctor remembering. They then again popped up in smaller numbers after they crash-landed on Earth years before. They converted several human beings, but were again destroyed by the power of emotion, and specifically, love. Once the Cyber Wars ended, the Cybermen were thought to have been extinct. This was naturally wrong. Surviving Cybermen began converting innocent people using cybermites and spare parts. The Doctor's TARDIS team was taken by the Cybermen, and with the Doctor's mind becoming the new Cyber Planner, the new army awoke. These heavily upgraded and modifiable Cybermen were the most futuristic ever, with the capability of upgrading on the spot via data in the Cyber Hive, allowing them to overcome any issues, anywhere, and any time. The Doctor defeated the Cyber Planner in his mind, meaning the Doctor and his friends escaped the planet before a planet detonation bomb was activated. This really did destroy all of the Cybermen in the universe, with only one Cybermite remaining, floating through the endless void of space. During the siege of Trenzalore, Cybermen rebuilt themselves once more, with a new, smaller fleet, which was quickly handled by the Doctor. During the siege, the Cybermen tried new methods to enter the planet undetected. One way they did this was through an entirely wooden Cyberman, which was equipped with a flamethrower. Later, Missy, an incarnation of the Master, allied herself with the Cybermen, using the Nethersphere to upload the minds of the dead into new cyber bodies. After setting free her new empire of Cybermen, the plan backfired and the Cybermen were ordered to self-destruct safely away from any humans. UNIT then encountered a parallel universe of Cybermen which were using VR technology from a VR universe. These Cybermen came through and the Cyber Planner merged its mind with Osgood. With the help of the War Master alongside UNIT, these Cybermen were destroyed and Osgun returned to normal, with them stopping any future Cybermen from coming through. Hundreds of years after the Cyber Wars, there was a lone survivor known as Ashad, who started to rebuild the Cyber Empire. He wished to do this by finding and using the Cyberium, which was sent back in time during the war by the Alliance. After he received the Cyberium, the survivors of humanity were hunted by any and all remaining Cybermen. It's also worth noting that it's believed Ashad and other surviving Cybermen all came from that one surviving Cyberman from so long ago. Ashad used the Cyberium and found a cyber ship containing a cyber army of 1,000 troopers. By using the death particle, Ashad aimed to turn the Cybermen totally robotic and destroy any and all surviving life in the universe. Once arriving on Gallifrey, a new incarnation of the Master tricked Ashad in the Cyberium into converting dead Time Lords into Cyber Masters. The 13th Doctor then stopped this alongside the help with Koshamus. Later on, the Cybermen then once again popped up in the Flux. The Flux event started to rip apart the universe and tore apart worlds, systems, and just about everything in its path. This left wars between the Daleks, between the Cybermen and the Sontarans, all scavenging around for the last bits of life. As the Cybermen came close to the corner of the universe, they managed to reach Earth just before the Flux event caught them. However, the 13th Doctor once again used the Sontarans and backfired their plan, destroying all Cybermen, all Daleks, and all of the other species coming to seek heaven. So that's going to be it for today's video on the history of the Cybermen. As I said, I'm going to be working on a history of the Cyber Wars too, and this is an ever-changing history. There's countless big finishes being made, some of which I have purposely left out as I'm going to be including in the Time War timeline video. If you want to see any other history videos, maybe ones you want to see more, what would you rather see first, maybe? Let me know in the comments. Would you rather see the Cyber War? Would you rather see the Daleks? Or would you rather see something like the Weeping Angels or the Time War itself? That's going to be it for this video, as I said, but if you want to carry on the discussion, then be sure to check the Discord linked in the description. We do Big Finish giveaways, events, and loads of other good fun stuff like that. So hopefully I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later. Have a lovely day, evening, wherever you are in the world, and bye-bye. You're running late with half your